Is VGK clearing cap space to make a big move with the trade deadline now just 10 days away?
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco along with Chris Golick. You could find us on Twitter at Tony Dasco, at TD Chris G, and at Locked On VGK. You could also find us, of course, on your YouTube, and our YouTube channel is Locked On Golden Knights. Please subscribe. And Chris, VGK yesterday finally placing the captain Mark Stone on long-term injured reserve. So that creates a lot of additional space, right? $9.5 million. VGK is about to sign a big-time free agent, right?
Yes and no. So let's acknowledge reality before we all get too excited here. Prior to this move being made, VGK had approximately $4,000 in cap space. Can't do a whole lot with that. So Adin Hill is not making the trip to Chicago. He suffered what Coach Cassidy is calling a bump. He wasn't in the plan to start anyway. So in order for Adin Hill not to go, VGK needs another goalie. Here comes Michael Hutchinson to the rescue, the Hutchinator.
Guy.
So yeah, right. He's decent in the AHL, like whatever. Played about 15 NHL games in the last 8 seasons, it seems like. But in order for Hutchinson to be signed, you had to clear cap space because his hits like $775,000, the league minimum, whatever. So is the bigger story something's happening, a big move potentially, or is there a bigger injury concern with Adin Hill? We've seen comments that Coach Cassidy have made that have not necessarily added up as far as how injuries go. We've seen it a couple of times with different players about the amount of time they would be gone. So there's two things happening right now. One, Adin Hill. Is there a bigger injury with Adin Hill? Does he just have a little minor bump? They wanted to get Hutchinson out there. Or is there a blend of both sides of this happening right now? Eventually, this was going to happen, Stone going to LTIR, because a move is going to be made, and they're going to utilize this now as an opportunity to give Adin Hill a little bit extra rest. That's what I'm leaning toward. I think it's a hybrid of both situations. But, we all got a little emotional last night. Hey, something big's happening.
Yeah, but you don't clear $9.5 million, Chris, if
you
you're
have
just
to.
going to sit.
There's no other way they could have cleared it, though, Tony. There's no other path they could have done to get Michael Hutchinson in the lineup. There's no other path with what's happening on the team right now.
That's a big move. I mean, he's important.
Michael Hutchinson, yeah, he's really huge.
Okay, so fans are asking, how come not Jiri Patera? That's my curiosity. Obviously, you want to still try to continue to contend and win with HSK, but why not
more
Patera?
NHL experience?
Okay.
It's AHL experience. I mean, listen, if there is something happens in warm-up, right, all of a sudden Michael Hutchinson ends up being your starter, or God forbid, Laurent Brossoit has an injury, early in the game. Would you rather get through this game with Hutchinson or Patera? And the answer is Hutchinson. He does have, even though it's not much, he does have a much longer term in the nets, and Hutchinson would probably give the team a better chance to win, especially if it's in a weird situation where he comes in unexpectedly.
Okay, could they still fit Patrick Kane within the parameters now of the salary cap? Can they still fit him in?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of ways they can. Well, technically at this moment, no, because we are at 20. I put a tweet out about 10 minutes before we went live that explained our situation right now per cap friendly. And at the moment, we are capped out on our rosters. We are 23 of 23 roster spots on the NHL side. Now, Hutchinson can be sent down immediately. I think Hutchinson is technically up on an emergency loan, which is the classification on cap friendly. So I would say probably sometime about, let's see, the game is going to be about 5:30 local time. I'd say by about somewhere between 9 p.m. local and tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., we see the note that HSK has taken the Hutchinator back to play this week. So
what was that injury classification? What did Cassidy say on Adin Hill?
He suffered a bump.
What does that even mean? What does that mean? I hate the NHL.
He didn't even say upper or lower body, just at a bump.
I hate the way that they classify injuries. I really do.
Did he? I don't know if he. I can't remember in the game if he took a headshot or not. I don't know.
Don't recall. No, I didn't remember anything that kind of staggered him or anything
He's got
else.
A bump, Tony. He's got a bump.
You also noticed that Danil Maramanov went on the IR.
Yeah. So here's the entire path to Michael Hutchinson playing it for the Golden Knights tonight, or at least backing up Brossoit. We needed money. We only had $4,000 in cap space. Mark Stone frees up enough cap space to get our $775,000 fourth goaltender in the roster for tonight. But Mark Stone was already on IR beforehand, so the roster spot had not been cleared. So now Miramanov has been placed on IR, which clears the roster spots. So VGK was just sandbagging the LTIR and IR usage. I don't think the situation, and somehow I believe Shea Weber plays into all this with some of our cap and roster space and all this, where it wasn't necessary to move Mark Stone right away onto the LTIR. There wouldn't be like any additional benefits or anything like that, because that was a question I actually asked Cap Friendly maybe 3 weeks ago when they actually put Mark Stone on IR, because everyone knew he was going to LTIR. It's, he's not playing in this regular season. I don't care what McPhee said on that podcast. That was all smoke and mirrors. I'm taking Cassidy's comments where, well, if we can extend the season, maybe we'll see Mark Stone back. Though those are the comments that I'm buying. I'm not buying McPhee's. McPhee's very calculated the way he speaks. I'm not buying what McPhee said.
Stone's done. I think
he's done for the regular. Tony, if this team makes it to the second round, I'll give you action. We see him.
Okay.
I'll give action.
So tonight we have Broski and Hutch. Okay. And so Hutch probably goes back down. He'll probably go back down to the AHL.
He might go down in the second period, but yeah.
Yeah. No, he'll but I mean, after this game, I think it's calculated, and then I think they'll have all the cap room, and then I think Patrick Kane is who they're targeting. And I would be shocked. I saw your poll yesterday. I would be shocked if he's not on the plane flight coming back to Las Vegas.
Honestly, that's kind of my chalky thing too right now. I think Thursday we see, and again, maybe there's some emotion, right? And of course, to me, I mean, I got there's a Blackhawk jersey back there, folks. Remember, that's my former love. There's a Blackhawk jersey back there.
The half flurry is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Let's see that again. Can we zoom in?
No, I can't ahead. Zoom.
But go.
I'm scared to zoom on Zoom because God forbid this whole thing crashes on one of us.
You know how well we do technically. So
no, we're doing awesome. We're doing pretty well today. If I had wood on my desk, I'd knock on it right now.
Coming up when we return, VGK facing off against the Blackhawks in Chicago tonight. Our preview comes your way next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights. It is a little bit past the midway point of the NBA season here, of course, and now is the perfect time to download FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook because new customers get that no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just download. I was doing everything okay.
Download
the FanDuel Sportsbook. It's safe. You want to read the rest? Right there. Okay. It's very safe. And then you can bet on everything from the money line to point scorers to threes drained. And of course, you can definitely take a look at all the point spreads, everything coming back. And there's so many exclusive bets, like 2x3, 2 3-pointers scored in the first 3 minutes. You bet on that. Yeah, that is fun. Plus, FanDuel will give you a combination of bets for your chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. So don't miss a chance to get your no-sweat first bet. It's up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/lockedon. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the National Basketball Association. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. A little technicality there, of course. And I was trying to read off of another computer, and it just wasn't working. So Of course, I'm stammering like usual. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas, Monday through Friday. Of course, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. And I'm sure that'll be, man, That'll be a WTF Friday right there, I'm sure, with the fans, because they pick up on every single thing. So, of course, we'll have that coming up on Friday, but make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. So, missing from the Blackhawks lineup tonight, of course, definitely Jonathan Toews.
Yeah,
We talked about that yesterday. The Blackhawks captain sidelined with chronic immune response syndrome. Wow, 14-14 on the season, 28. And perhaps they will be missing Patrick Kane as well. We see he's a healthy scratch. Something's up, right? So
let's see. Let's see if he does the pregame skate today. We'll start there.
So Kane has been he's been on fire of late, right? He's got 5 goals over the past 2 games, and he had the I think I'm just going to throw it to you. But Patrick Kane, 5 goals, 2 games. And that's more than Vegas Bjorn has had the entire season, I think.
So Patrick Kane, let's talk about a few things with Patrick Kane right now, because that's obviously where pretty much everything is centered around. I was looking up and down the Blackhawks lineup, and it's I'm trying to think of a Vegas reference. It's that landfill, like way up north when you're driving like towards the speedway. That's, but it's by design. Yeah, it's by design. I mean, obviously. So just talking about Patrick Kane a little bit here. Like I had an up and back. I forgot the person's name. It was actually a real good up and back that we had yesterday morning while I was actually waiting at the airport, helped pass the time, talking about Patrick Kane and the VGK and all of that. And just staying on the Patrick Kane side right now, the comment was, we don't want another washed up player with nagging injuries and things like that. He's played 52 of, I think, 58 games this season. Last season, his third best regular season from a statistical perspective with 92 points, he played 78 games. Before that was the bubble year, 2021. He played 56 of 56 regular season games. And then here's his regular season game totals from 2019 to 2016. 70, 81, 82, 82, 82 again in 15-16, a couple seasons in the 60s, and then the lockout season was 47. So, I mean, listen, he's been around for a long time. Is he slowing down a little bit? Fair. I mean, but he got 92 points the season before, so how much is he slowing down?
And he'll just be a rental. He'll just be a rental here.
Yeah, no doubt he would be a rental. And you know what? I mean, everyone's going to Blockbuster right now. Toronto's making their deals. Carolina's going to be making a deal. The Rangers already made a deal. I mean, this is definitely the time to go to Blockbuster, walk up and down, get one of those nice blue and yellow boxes. Maybe this isn't in the new release category like some of the other players on the deadline would be, but this is certainly in that classics column, where it's like, oh, cool, this is a good movie. I haven't watched this in a while. Let's rent Patrick Kane and see how we enjoy this for the next, 8.5 weeks or something like that. So, I don't think Patrick Kane is breaking down by any means. He has a hip injury. Fine. So be it. I mean, whatever. Everyone's got an injury at this point of the year. But looking at his game totals, looking at what he brings to the team, looking what he would bring to a struggling power play. And the last thing I'll say, and then maybe we'll talk more about the Blackhawks besides Patrick Kane, is the Golden Knights have yet to find anyone not named Mark Stone that clicks, that has a perfect synergy, if you will, with Jack Eichel. Patrick Kane just might be that fella, folks. Just might be that fella.
Chicago coming off of wins over the Senators.
Plural? Wins? Plural? Wow.
And they defeated, they beat the Leafs too. They're going to play, of course, because it is the NHL, because it is so stinking rigged.
They got Dallas tomorrow.
At Dallas tomorrow night.
They had a back-to-back last week too, Tony.
Come on. And VGK has
this is their third. Okay, this is their. It's crazy. Wow, Tony. Okay, you might your hat might fly up here. Since the All-Star break on the 10th and the 11th, Arizona, Winnipeg back-to-back. Chicago, that is. 14th and 15th. Montreal, Toronto, back-to-back. Today, tomorrow, VGK, Dallas, back-to-back. Next week, the 27th and 28th, Anaheim, Arizona, back-to-back. A week and a half later, Florida, Tampa, back-to-back. Oh, my goodness. Wow. That's
good for tanking.
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah, because they don't even need to put the effort in. How is VGK's? What does Vegas's schedule look like in that same time? Like it's It's got to be. I mean, okay, well, we have no more back-to-backs this month. That's not a surprise. Wow.
How could that be?
Hold on,
How
Tony.
could
I'm
that
not
even
done
be?
yet. I'm not done. You're interrupting me. You're interrupting me. We have no back-to-backs in March, Tony. No back-to-backs in March. We have one more.
Be?
The Vegas Golden Knights have one more back-to-back this entire regular season.
How could that be? How could that? They've played 7 already? There's no way. It's so stinking rigged. It's ridiculous. They're doing everything they possibly can.
The calendar.
They're doing whatever they can, they being the NHL, to get Connor Bedard in Chicago and VGK to breeze into the playoffs. This is weak. And what about the rest of the Pacific? Oh my goodness. I watched Calgary yesterday losing to Philadelphia.
Oh, they lost. Okay.
4-0. San Jose beat Seattle yesterday.
Philly is hot right now. Philly is actually heating up right now. I had no idea they've been playing well.
He's coaching like crazy too. I watched yesterday, and in the third period, his team allowed Calgary to come back and tie the game after they were down 2 goals.
That's not good.
And I've never seen him coaching so hard. Seriously. So they're doing whatever they can. Good for them. Philadelphia Flyers. Back to Chicago. Max Domi, 42 points. 15 goals.
1 more point than Patrick Kane.
Yep. And 41. That means 41 then for Kane. That's good. And the goalie situation has not been good. However, Jackson Mrazek is just, I thought he was better. I remember he was in Carolina, right? And then Toronto, but I thought he was a better goaltender. Jackson Stauber's been the news. He's been the story. 4 out of 5 games that he's played. That's it. His first games in the NHL. He has won 4 games, 4 of 5.
And listen, on a serious note, that could pose trouble. And, looking at this game tonight, you do have, if Patrick Kane does play on the Blackhawks side, I don't think even if they make a trade, he plays against the Blackhawks tonight, just out of respect. But there's a lot of emotion tonight. There's emotion with Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane knows, unless the decision is he's made up his mind not to be traded, which he could also. He has earned that right and that opportunity, and maybe he knows it's not happening or whatever. But point being, there is a lot of emotion tonight for the Chicago Blackhawks. There's a lot of emotion for Patrick Kane. Any game could be Patrick Kane's last game in the United Center. So he's going to want to leave Chicago with a proper send-off and do everything he can to just show some love back for the fans that have supported him for the last 17, 16, whatever the amount of seasons it's been. So, and the rest of the Blackhawks will feed off of that energy. You have a goalie who's hot, just coming in and trying to make a name for himself. So there are a lot of things pointing to this game that could be trouble for the Golden Knights. And at the end of the day, we did mention that lovely trap word, mentioned it. I called the trap game on Saturday night after I heard Bruce Cassidy rattle off the systems of all the upcoming teams besides the Chicago Blackhawks. He mentioned Calgary. He mentioned Dallas. He mentioned Colorado. Didn't say a word about Chicago. Now, we could be reading a little farther into it when I say that, but I'm simply taking his word. That's all I'm doing.
He quietly disses teams, though, because he was like, well, he's going down, these teams. Okay, they had a good system, this one, that. Okay, Tampa, great. Okay. And then he goes, yeah, and San Jose, as we know. He just quietly, just sneaks in those dingers. Jake McCabe, they might lose him, drawing a ton of interest, the defenseman. Oh, I have another note here.
He is a +5 too on that team. I just looked at that earlier.
Stinking team. Yeah, that's pretty good. No, he's played very well.
Yeah.
And a lot of teams are looking at his upside, I guess.
God, yeah, he's got huge upside.
Here's a stat for you. Stat of the day. We need some sort of sound effect. Okay. The agent, Pat Brisson, represents 7 players on the Blackhawks. And you know who his son is. It's Brendan Brisson. And I think they're trying to finagle the deal for Kane to come to Vegas. And if he wants to clear and clean cap space and just gut out that entire organization, he could do so himself. He represents 7 players.
I was going to say Brisson over to Chicago as part of the Kane deal also to that was the angle I was taking.
Yeah, as long as his son could play, right? But isn't that interesting? I think that's fascinating.
Brendan has no shot to crack the Golden Knights roster, obviously, this year or maybe even anytime soon. Nothing against Brennan
He's
Brisson.
gone backwards. He's gone backwards.
He hasn't gone forward is probably the better way I would say it, because he
You're
hasn't
so
gone
positive.
forwards yet. He has not taken that jump, and maybe we're putting a little too much on him. I mean, Brennan Brisson came in drawing a lot of interest with a Golden Knights team that was struggling to make the playoffs, and he had just finished his college career at Michigan University, I believe.
Yeah, University of Michigan. Yeah.
So he had just finished there, so we were all excited. Hey,
team that lost to the University of Denver.
There you go. So did the UNLV Skating Rebels too. In a recreation game early in the year, I believe, in a friendly, it was like 11-0.
Yeah.
But I think UNLV is third or fourth in the nation right now, though. So stick tap to UNLV. We actually hit 2 or 3 UNLV games this year over at City National. They're fun.
Nice.
They're fun. They're a good time. They play hard. You get the production. You get the music. You get the intermission entertainment and everything. It's a good time. And it's like $5 or something like that. It's nothing.
So what is VGK's lead in the series? 4-15-0. So the Golden Knights won both matchups, right? This season, the 1-0 game and 4-1. Is that correct?
Did they play? So they already played in Chicago earlier in the year. Is that what you're saying?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't looked.
They
honestly,
play twice?
I think the Blackhawks have only beat us like 1 or 2 times, I think, in the regular season, and since we started, they haven't beat us a whole lot.
4-15-0. Wow.
Yeah, last year there was an absolute amazing game. That was the game where, okay, here we go. The Blackhawks, it was a matinee game. The Blackhawks took a 3-0 lead.
That was amazing.
Who gets the game-winning goal in the overtime period? Dadonov.
Yeah, Dadonov.
the ultimate golden misfit. Dadonov.
Yeah. Where is he now? Where are they now?
Montreal, and
he's not doing anything.
Were bad.
Last time we looked, they were really bad.
Yeah,
I went to the Fleury return game over there at T-Mobile when Fleury pretty much dominated.
Yeah, I couldn't make that one because then I had so that's when I got that stinking jersey made back there. That's when I got that jersey made for the Fleury return game.
Yeah.
And cool. Unfortunately, my kid had COVID. I had just gotten over COVID a few weeks prior, and it was like, I'm not going without my kids. So that was
okay. We could get
4 goals for Dadonov, 47 games.
Wow, terrific. Coming up next, we've got the locks of the night, and of course, our prediction on tonight's game. I took Patrick Kane. I'm taking Patrick Kane tonight for VGK. We'll return with more. Hopefully, we can get through this spot when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Our next partner has a product that myself and Chris Golick use literally every day. So we started to take Athletic Greens because we don't have the time. This is Vegas. We're always on the run. And it also gives us more energy and optimizes our immune system. So now it's been several months. I actually love it myself. Doesn't taste, as I say, chalky. It's super healthy. It has this mild and tropical taste. And I actually look forward to taking each and every morning. And of course, with one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you are absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you to start your day off on the right foot, which I definitely needed this morning, and I missed the mark. And it's definitely lifestyle friendly. You need to try it out. They use the best of the best products based on the latest science, technology, with constant product iterations and third-party testing. And so it costs less than $3 a day, and you're investing in your health. It's cheaper than your cold brew habit. You need to try it out. Tons of testimonials. As they say in the game, just Google it. AG1 Athletic Greens. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NHL Network. Again, athleticgreens.com/NHL Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. We come to you each and every day, Monday through Friday, and you can find us wherever you get your podcast. And please check out the YouTube channel with the new background here. Okay, no comments today.
I have no comments because there's nothing in your background.
The fake plant. I threw the fake plant in there. Is that good?
It's lovely, Tony. It's beautiful. It's
I
beautiful.
don't want a pan. It's like,
Beautiful.
okay. So coming up, of course, we'll take a look in this segment at our locks of the night and predictions for today's game. So I am taking Patrick Kane tonight for VGK.
I mean, either way, listen, you can get a 2-for-1 with Patrick Kane. So
I think it's almost a done deal. I think it's pretty close. I think it's that close, and especially with Pat Brisson negotiating in the middle, I think it's going to happen.
I don't know. I mean, something's going to happen. Let's be clear here, and
something's brewing.
Yeah, and I think maybe myself and even maybe more of us maybe are too quick to sweep under the rug that maybe there's some with Adin Hill right now. I mean, I know we're recapping what we said at the start of the show, but maybe there is more to Adin Hill. Maybe
if it's a bump on the head, it could be. If it's a bump on the head, he's concussed and
it could be
out for a minute.
And this is a product of the NHL not telling us
at.
anything, right? This is horrible. I know. I mean, listen, speculation is what fuels views. I get all that. But at the end of the day, the NHL is also to blame for basically upper body, lower body, or in this case, since there's not even an injury designation, then we get bump. Like we get bump. Like, he got a zit on his shoulder, needs a pop? I mean, did he get hit in the head with a puck? Like what does this mean? A bump? Like, I don't know what that means. So, it's speculation. So
yeah,
you got Patrick Kane.
No, I'm going to take Paul Cotter.
Oh, I thought you were going to take him.
I'm going to go Nick Waugh. Paul Cotter and Nick Waugh.
Cotter.
If Kane's in the VGK lineup, then I'll take him.
Okay, fair enough. I think that's a little. I think it's coming. I honestly think the deal for Patrick Kane is going to come. I don't think it might be today or even tomorrow necessarily, but something is coming, and I honestly think they're utilizing the situation to give Adin Hill just a little bit more rest. And the inevitable was Mark Stone to LTIR. So looking more about the LTIR, he has to miss 10 games, 24 calendar days, retro to when the IR was announced, which was not terribly long after January 12th when this happened. So technically Mark Stone could return this regular season, but I don't know.
So your money is on returning at some point, even in the playoffs.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And I say no way. And they might have.
Vegas is playing the game, Tony.
They might have playing the game, but they might have. I know that I thought this last season a ton, but I think they really need to, for his health, shut him down and get him right for the start of next season. I do. And just replace him.
You think VGK? Well, listen,
I thought he came back too soon.
Maybe this isn't the best take, but do you think VGK cares about next season?
Okay, you got me there. You do have me there.
So I mean, listen. Let's say there is let's say there is a above the table injury of Mark Stone right now. Let's just pretend for a second there's an above the table actual something that popped, happened, slipped, whatever it was. Something honestly happened with Mark Stone. This is 9 months after his previous injury. It's going to happen again, right? He's getting older. Yes. He's wearing down. It's going to happen again.
You could
if we get a Mark Stone back that's at 68, 70% for anywhere in the playoffs, that is still plus EV for the team because everyone's injured in the playoffs anyway. Mark Stone will at least be rested for 3.5 months or something like that. So if there is any path to getting him back in the lineup to where he can contribute 14, 15 minutes a game, even if it's only that little, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. And next year, they'll worry about next year because it's all about right now. And that's what this team is, right? The moment season one, that Tomas Tatar deal got made, and there's a heck of an over-under right there. If we do sign Patrick Kane, over-under, Tomas Tatar VGK goals, Patrick Kane VGK goals. It better be Patrick Kane. But back to my point, VGK made their mark clear that once the deal happened in season one, they made their mark notice that they were going to go for the cup every single year. They thought they had the team. They definitely think they got the team this year. Whether that's debatable, maybe that'll be a topic tomorrow. Is this a cup roster in current form with LT and Stone or with LT Stone and a rental? Like that's a great conversation for tomorrow. But VGK is about winning a cup today. They don't care about tomorrow. And honestly, I don't think they're concerned about anyone's health tomorrow. And VGK is not alone in that either. I'm not knocking VGK. This is all teams.
No, it's everyone. I think Edmonton is having some cap issues right now, to be honest with you.
Vander Kane came back. That's a big hit right there.
5-1. 5-1 VGK tonight. Did you give us?
I'm 4-3 VGK. I'm 4-3 VGK. I like Theodore. He's just in great form right now. And you haven't called Riley Smith in a while, right? I haven't heard much about Riley Smith out there. So let's go Smith.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to ask you how you feel, because you watched Larry Brossoit down on the farm. And I wanted to ask you what improvements you felt he made there and what he worked on, what he tweaked, injuries notwithstanding, but how did he progress in playing with Henderson of the AHL?
So the first time I saw his first and second games, his first game, he was just shellacked, call it what it is. And again, no training camp, just 10 days of workouts or something like that. And then all of a sudden, boom.
High, Chicago, shoot high.
Shh, don't tell anybody, So first game, he gets shellacked. Second game, 4 goals in the first and gets pulled. That's when I asked the scout in the stands, I'm like, hey, are the HSK just playing bad, or do you think this is more or less on the goalie just not looking good? He's like, this is not good right now. This is not good right now. We had that uncomfortable eye contact, like he was trying to tell me something with his eyes, but he wouldn't say it. So that was the conversation. Kind
of creepy. Yeah,
it was. Yeah, but it was good. It was fair. It was a good media moment. I dug it. I felt like I was in the mix right there. I was in the thick of things. All right. Moving on from that, his reaction time improved. Getting across the ice, going left to right, right to left, across the crease definitely improved. And probably the patience is probably the biggest one, right? A goalie, I think the instinct, especially when you miss some time, you're out dancing on the top of that crease. You're trying to cut the angles. You're trying to do a lot instead of just kind of letting the play come to you, so to speak. I think that's probably the biggest improvements, is just the overall awareness, if that's the right terminology to use.
Is he more aggressive?
No, I think Brossoit does not come across as an aggressive goalie at all. Marc-Andre Fleury is aggressive, right? He's at the top of that crease. I'll even say LT is a little more aggressive.
Started to be more aggressive. He did.
Which also might have been when things kind of turned south for him for a little bit in the middle too, so is that because the defense wasn't there? Like, that's the other thing. Brossoit just needs to trust those 6 fellows in front of him to do their job and make his layups tonight. If he can do that and make his layups, keep Chicago to 2, maybe 3 goals, I see no issue with a victory tonight.
Again, the big number is 3. They have to score the 3. But I could see.
I want 4 tonight. I want 4. I think 4 is safe.
Okay, I think 5 again, and I think that they found a little bit of a groove here. And of course, they're playing for the free car washes still. Better chance of making the playoffs, HSK or Bournemouth?
Oh, God. Can I take neither?
Bournemouth is just barely
HSK, I think, and more teams make the playoffs because they have like a couple of either 3 or 5 game rounds or something like that. Like the top 6 or 7 make it. And I think HSK, I'm not going to take the time to look. I think they're dead in the water right now. But
they are
not. Oh yeah, they're toast. They're toast.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that they still had a chance.
Honestly, okay. Here's the over-under, Tony. Who is higher ranked in their respective league? The HSK or the Chicago Blackhawks?
Higher ranked. Wow. Is it that close?
It is. And I'm AHL standings.
Okay, I'm going to guess Chicago. I'm just going to take a stab at that
one. Filter. It's close.
In the offseason, though, you're going to have to do something to retool the Silver Knights. Correct?
Okay, so there are 32 teams in the AHL, Tony.
Okay.
32 teams. HSK, 31 in the rankings.
Wow.
They are 31 in the rankings.
I thought that
this might be a push, Tony. This might be a push. Oh, the Blackhawks are 30. Blackhawks are 30. There you go.
Wow. How about
there
that?
You go. House wins again. Pay the line, take the don't.
Yeah. So hopefully, Bournemouth is just right there on the edge, okay, from being relegated. Relegated means like shipped to bogey land, for a year. So
they go down for a year. They go down. They go to the gulag.
Yeah, exactly. You go to the gulag. It's exactly right. So tomorrow's show, we'll keep an eye on everything that's happening with the salary cap.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps we'll get that.
I sent you the picture the other day with the 4 Golden Knights players holding the flag. Did you see that? The Cherries flag? I texted you that.
It was so bad. That was so bad, contrived, really bad. I love the fans, as I said, and I quit calling them Bournemouth, like, because, I'm like this guy from wherever. So they're Bournemouth, but I have been following them. I've been watching their games. They did show improvement. They won this past weekend, what do they say in soccer? 1-0. So yeah, I watched
clean
their
sheets, a clean sheets.
the clean sheet. Tomorrow's show, of course, we'll recap everything. We might get that media dump from the skies tonight. They might be sending out a press release at 3 a.m. So I'm going to stay up. I'll have one eye open all night long.
You do that, Tony. You do that.
To see if that deal is consummated. We thank you all for tuning in, everyone. Of course, you could find us wherever you get your podcast. Please check us out on YouTube. Our YouTube channel, which, of course, Chris handles so well, is Locked On Golden Knights. We got through the show without the dreaded glitch, but I'm like Mark Stone's back, okay? So I overcompensated, like I was reading better and preparing better and doing other things because I was paying attention to the technical glitch, overcompensating perhaps, and not sticking to my script.
First 35 minutes of the show are great, folks. Last 2 minutes been off the rail a little bit, but
it's always off the rail, man. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights.